I was at Scottish Opera Highlights event at Woodend Barn in mid-February this year, and it was great. You should have seen it. It was the theatre, the barn was absolutely packed. And in fact, if you look online, you'll see a little video that we made with Scottish Opera. Well, look, we've got another opera treat for you here, and it's in the shape of Opera Bohemia. It's coming to Woodend Barn on Saturday the 2nd of April, so there's still time to buy tickets. And joining me in today's podcast is Alistair Digges, who's from the company La Boheme. So, first of all, Alistair, La Boheme, tell us about the story. It's a love story, isn't it?
Yes, well, La Boheme is an opera that's a favourite of many people, and it's a wonderful story, and quite a simple story to follow, but a very moving story. Two lovers, two people who meet each other, they're living in the same block, and they fall madly in love very quickly, and then as the story goes on, unfortunately, it's a bit of a sad ending because she dies. But it's a story of just the opera is about their relationship, how it blossoms, and also very focused on Rodolfo and his friends. They're living together as Bohemians in Paris. One's a struggling writer, one a struggling artist, and it's about the kind of Bohemian lifestyle and how love blossoms in that environment.
Just for the opera lovers out there, they may have observed this, but is it just me, or do I get the sense that Rodolfo lets Mimi down?
Well, I think that in many relationships a lot of jealousy creeps in, and in the actual full story of La Boheme, which is longer, has another act in it that's not in the opera itself. Yeah. There's a whole problem in the relationship that stems from jealousy, and he feels that he's not rich enough to look after her when she becomes ill, and there's all sorts of strains on the relationship. But of course, at the end of the opera, when she's very ill and near her death, their kind of true love for each other very much reveals itself. And
yes, and of course it's a beautiful opera, isn't it? And people out there even people who aren't opera lovers, they'll know that famous duet, won't they? It's absolutely awesome.
I think that, when I was very young myself, it was one of the first operas to fall in love with. It's very hard not to fall in love with it. It's got such wonderful music in it, and that's one of the reasons why we were so keen to do it, because it's an opera that really, even people who haven't maybe not had a chance to see much opera yet can easily fall in love with this, with its very memorable melodies and things. So.
Yes. And of course, you're one of the actors, so you have the pleasure of actually singing that duet, because you're Rodolfo, isn't that right? Yeah,
absolutely, and it's such an honour to sing the role. It's something I've always really wanted to sing, and it's wonderful music to sing and to be able to be part of.
So I just want to drill down on that duet for a moment, because it truly is. It's a beautiful piece of music. What's it like when you're actually singing that? You've got to sing it day after, maybe not day after day, but you have to sing it a lot, don't you? Does it change inside you when you're singing it?
Well, what's strange is that when that moment comes where they've met each other and they join together and they sing this duet, when they realise their feelings for each other, and this wonderful theme comes out, I think that every single time I sing it, I get the same sensation of shivers down my spine, like I was singing it for the first time. It's just such a magical moment, in not only in that opera but in the operatic repertoire. Full stop. It's just a really magical moment. It's music making, really.
Yeah, yes. And what is there anything in particular which you feel that your production brings to?
I'd like to quote that it's quite special in that the story is about young lovers and about young people trying to make it in the artistic world, and I think that we have a young cast. It's mainly Scottish singers who have been through the RSAMD or other music colleges, and I think the fact that it's young singers singing the roles who really are probably around the age that the roles are actually meant to be, maybe makes it that little bit special.
Yes. Well, look, Alistair, we look forward to that event very much. That's Opera Bohemia, Woodend Barn, on Saturday the 2nd of April. That's at 7:30 p.m. Alistair Digges, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.